A very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapientia on Star Times Channel 260. Today is Thursday, the 9th of October 2025. My name is Joe Ebo. In our news headlines this afternoon, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has assured Nigerians that the 2026 computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination, or CB-WASSCE, will be conducted smoothly and efficiently. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Botokun, has temporarily suspended the enforcement of the tinted glass law. Mrs. May Agbamuche-Mbu, a veteran legal practitioner, has replaced Professor Mahmood Yakubu as the acting chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. And the All Progressives Congress, APC, has secured a two-thirds majority in the Senate following the swearing in of 3 new senators to the ruling party. Now the details of the news. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has assured students, parents, and schools that the 2026 computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examinations, or CB-WASSCE, will be conducted smoothly and efficiently. Speaking yesterday during a sensitization campaign in Lagos, the head of the WAEC National Office, Dr. Amos Dangote, said every candidate who registers for the CB-WASSCE 2026 will be able to write the examination seamlessly, whether in Nigeria or abroad. Dr. Dangote explained that the sensitization exercise was designed to prepare candidates and schools for the new system and to give them an opportunity to practice ahead of the examination. He added that WAEC remains committed to ensuring timely, credible, and transparent examinations, noting that the introduction of the computer-based mode will help curb examination malpractice and enhance overall integrity. He said every candidate that registers for CB-WASSCE 2026 will write his exam. The Anambra State government has announced plans to recruit more teachers to strengthen the education sector, building on the 8,115 teachers already employed. Governor Chukwuma Soludo announced this at the grand celebration of World Teachers' Day at the Alex Ekweme Square in Awka. Governor Soludo said the state's impressive education record reflected the dedication and excellence of its teachers, describing them as the driving force behind Anambra's progress in education. He explained that the quality of any nation's education was directly tied to the quality of its teachers. Professor Ngozi Chuma Ude, the Commissioner for Education, underscored the importance of World Teachers' Day, calling it a moment to appreciate the critical role of teachers in nation building. The federal government has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to shelve its planned strike, assuring that it is committed to addressing all outstanding demands raised by the union. Addressing a news conference in Abuja yesterday, the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, said the federal government is already looking into the demands of the union and progress is already being made in the ongoing negotiations between both parties. The minister said that President Bola Tinubu had given clear directives that all efforts must be made to avoid another disruption in the nation's tertiary institutions. ASUU has already begun full mobilization of its members in preparation for a possible nationwide warning strike, as its 14-day ultimatum is set to expire on Sunday. The union announced the decision to embark on a 14-day warning strike following a National Executive Council meeting held on Sunday at the University of Abuja. In a notice of strike action signed by the National President of ASUU, Chris Piwuna, the union decried the neglect of the university system and the government's consistent refusal to heed to its demands. The Edo State Petroleum Task Force in Oba-Oka local government area of the state has sealed a filling station along Upper Sapomba Road for operating with expired fire extinguishers. The station was shut down after officials discovered that all its fire extinguishers had expired since 2024. The leader of the task force team, Ehichoya Joshua, said the management of the station had been repeatedly warned to replace the equipment but failed to comply. Joshua said it is disastrous not to have fire extinguishers in such a facility that has close proximity to residential buildings. The management of the station declined to comment on the development. The Inspector General of Police, Kaede Ebotokun, has temporarily suspended the enforcement of the Motor Vehicles Prohibition of Tinted Glass Act 1991. A statement by the First Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, said the decision followed a meeting between the police chief and the delegation of the Nigerian Bar Association, led by its president, Afam Osigwe San, at the first headquarters in Abuja. He said the discussion focused on the ongoing enforcement of the tinted glass law and the need for cooperation between the police and the bar in upholding the rule of law and promoting public confidence. Hundeyin urged motorists to use the suspension period to regularize their vehicle documentation and comply with all laws regulating the use of tinted or shaded vehicle glasses. You are watching TV Sapientia on Star Times, channel 260. The news continues shortly after this timeout. Please don't go away. Welcome back to the rest of the Sapientia News Bulletin at 1 p.m. My name is Joe Igbo. Mrs. May Agbamuche-Mbu, a veteran legal practitioner, has assumed the role of acting chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Agbamuche-Mbu replaced Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who has concluded his tenure as INEC chairman. Yakubu announced his decision during a meeting with the resident electoral commissioners, REX, on Tuesday. His final 5-year term is set to expire in November 2025. Agbamuche-Mbu, INEC's new acting chairman, also chairs INEC Legal Services, Clearance and Complaints Committee and will oversee the commission's operations until a substantive chairman is appointed. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has warned that it will mobilize students across the country to occupy federal highways if efforts to sabotage private refineries, particularly the Dangote refinery, continue. In a statement delivered during a national warning protest held simultaneously in Abuja, Asaba, and Lagos, NANS President Olushola Oladoja condemned what he described as a coordinated attempt by vested interests to frustrate Nigeria's refining independence. He criticized the ongoing pressure by trade unions, especially Pengason, to impose union membership on private refinery workers, calling it unconstitutional and a threat to investment. NANS accused international oil companies, product importers, and local unions of conspiring to maintain Nigeria's dependence on imported fuel by frustrating local refining efforts. Oladoja warned that if the government fails to act, NANS will escalate its actions with nationwide student protests. Ahead of the November 8, 2025 Anambra State governorship election, the Onitsha Traditional Council, otherwise known as Imobi Onitsha, has condemned the use of masquerades for political purposes, including campaigns. The Traditional Council, which is the royal stool of the Obi of Onitsha, was reacting to a recent development where some candidates of political parties were seen campaigning with masquerades, and the masquerades openly declaring support for them. In a press statement released yesterday, the Chief of Staff, Onitsha Traditional Council, Chief Osita Anyonwu, said the act is a blatant disregard for the revered traditions and customs of the people of Onitsha Kingdom. Anyonwu said that masquerades are sacred embodiments of the ancestors play a vital role in the spiritual and communal life of the people and should not be seen engaging in political functions. The statement urged all stakeholders, including political aspirants and their supporters, to respect the cultural heritage of Onitsha and refrain from using sacred institutions for political gain. The All Progressives Congress APC has secured a 2/3 majority in the Senate following the swearing-in of 3 new senators to the ruling party. Senate President Godswill Akpabio administered the oath of office to Joseph Ikpia, Edo Central APC, and Emmanuel Nwachukwu Chibuzo, Anambra South, All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA, who were recently declared winners of by-elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC at the start of yesterday's plenary session, while Ikpia replaced Senator Mondo Okpeholo, who vacated his seat after emerging as governor of Edo State. Chibuzo filled the vacancy created by the death of Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, who previously represented Anambra South. Shortly after the swearing-in, Senator Kevin Chukwu Enugu East, who was elected on the platform of the Labour Party, formally announced his defection to the APC. In his letter, Chukwu explained that his decision followed extensive consultations with his constituents and political associates and was driven by his desire to serve effectively. The lawmaker cited internal wrangling, leadership crisis, policy disagreement, lack of cohesion and direction and focus at both the state and national levels within the Labour Party as reasons for his exit, adding that the challenges had undermined the core values and principles upon which the party was founded. Following the latest developments, the numerical strength of parties in the 10th Senate now stands at 73 for the APC, 28 for the People's Democratic Party PDP, 4 for the Labour Party LP, 2 for the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA, 1 for the Social Democratic Party SDP, and 1 also for the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP, giving the APC a comfortable 2/3 majority in the 109-member chamber. To end the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The West African Examinations Council WAEC has assured Nigerians that the 2026 Computer-Based West African Senior School Certificate Examination, or CB-WASSCE, will be conducted smoothly and efficiently. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kaide Botokun, has temporarily suspended the enforcement of the tinted glass law. Mrs. May Agbamuche-Mbu, a veteran legal practitioner, has replaced Professor Mahmood Yakubu as the acting chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC. And finally, the All Progressives Congress APC has secured a 2/3 majority in the Senate, following the swearing-in of 3 new senators to the ruling party. That was the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.